For me, sustainable lifestyle means just being conscious of your impact on the earth, being aware that everything you do is going to leave a trail somehow. And it's not just material things. What you consume in your mind can also affect your life. Think about what you also put out there and how it's going to affect other people, how it's going to affect the earth in 100 years. My name is Jasmine. So as a traveler, I've been a few places in Europe. I went to Santorini in Greece, Croatia, and one of my favorites is Bolivia because that's my first international trip from Canada. I loved it there because I volunteered for 3 weeks there and I worked with kids when I was there. We renovated some classrooms and donated a bunch of books and supplies to different schools. So that was really memorable for me, especially as my first experience as a traveler. I keep going back to the Philippines because that's where I'm from, and I never got a chance to travel around the country when I was a child, so I just try to go back there every year and explore a different part of the island every time. Going to beaches in the Philippines and any beach in the world actually, what made me change my mind or my lifestyle is seeing the garbage around the beach and seeing how it affects local people really bothered me. When they talk about it, then I'm more informed of what the impacts are of tourism. Realizing that it's from people like me who are tourists, we have so much impact that we bring to a country when we travel there, especially when it's only short term. We don't really think about how we manage our garbage and just how we consume the resources that they have. Avoid short-term vacations. I want to change myself. So from that on, it made me think about how I consume things and how to do it differently. The one big change that I made was that I didn't travel for a year. I wanted to lower my carbon footprint, and I know that flying has a really high carbon footprint. And that's a big thing for me because I always want to leave in the winter, but I'm here and it's winter. Since I haven't traveled for the past year and I slowed down on Instagram on talking about sustainable travel, I focus more on what I'm doing at home and how to live more sustainably at home because there's a shift, especially in social media. People are more aware, being more sustainable and being more minimalist. I decided to switch over and start a YouTube channel because I figure that I can bring so much more value to other people who are interested in a sustainable lifestyle by showing them the things that they can do at home. And I also work in a natural health store. We have a herbal dispensary, and a lot of people who work there actually make their own stuff, which is really cool, and it really inspired me to do the same. Some of them share their recipes with me, and I try to make it at home and just tweak it and adjust it based on the ingredients that I have available. So some research also goes into it. I see a lot of different things on Pinterest and on Instagram. I just try to remake it, and if it's really good based on my experience with it, then I make it again. Social media is basically where I get my inspiration from, and that's how I started becoming more interested. So I just basically asked on my stories, is there anything about sustainability or sustainable lifestyle in general that you'd like to know? A number of people basically responded, what does sustainability even mean? That just goes to show that still not all of people are aware of what that means and how you can do it. Some people have a lot of concerns, like how hard it's gonna be to switch to a lifestyle like that. Even if I'm just, a normal person, I am able to do it at home. And it actually saves me a lot of money too by not buying stuff and making things myself. When I would talk about how to travel sustainably and post about being eco-friendly, some people who follow me would say that, oh, you're not even vegan, how can you talk about the earth and not think about your impacts on the animals and stuff like that? Maybe in the beginning when you're trying to find out more about it and people are not really supportive or they're questioning what you're doing, I don't think you necessarily need a community to be extremely supportive for you to be able to do it, because at the end of the day, it comes from inside. So if you have that mindset already, then there's nothing that can stop you, even if you're surrounded by people who don't agree with you. It makes my life so much easier in a way that I don't have to think much about what I have to wear and what I have to do and staying on top of trends. I find more happiness in intrinsic things. I find a lot of value in experiences. Those make me happy, like different experiences, creative and resourceful. It helps me connect with nature better and connect with people who are like-minded. So these are my parents. My parents definitely grew up in a different generation than me because where I come from in the Philippines, people are just trying to survive every single day, and the more you have, the better is the mentality there. But also, yeah, people just mostly try to live day by day, and they don't have the time to think about the impact that they're making on Earth and how it's going to affect the future generations. I don't really blame them for wanting to buy a lot of things, especially at home. My mom also hoards a lot of stuff because that's just the mentality that she has. It's good to have stuff. It's understandable if you grew up having nothing, and when you get to a point where you can afford stuff, then why wouldn't you buy stuff? So people have different experiences growing up. We don't think the same about sustainability. It's not a problem for me. I think we should just do what we can with what we have. If you're trying, then that's great. You know, if you grew up from a different generation, then it's hard to think someone who grew up in North America. And I am really lucky because if it weren't for them, then I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to think about these things and be more sustainable than the lifestyle that they have. At the end of the day, I think that everyone has a contribution to make, no matter how different we all are. That's what makes life interesting. We all have our unique talents and skills and just different things that we can do to create a better environment for ourselves.